So my fellow black folks, we don't care. We don't care if you don't think this is a fight. We don't care if you think you was right all along. We don't care about nothing. If you got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Simple as that. Stop trying to act like middle school trying to prove a point so bad. Stop trying to get on here and trying to convince other people that this is not their fight. Just because you feel a different type of way. If you feel like you're going to mind your business about this protest, you should also mind your business about who the hell is going. That's it. Simple as that. We need to shut down the narrative that Latinos and Hispanic community was not there for y'all. I've seen a lot of people there at the George Floyd protest. I've seen a lot of people there at the Black Lives Matter protest. Please get it together. I need y'all to understand that we are all a minority together. We're not saying that what you went through was not worse, but this is not a competition right now. I also need y'all to remember that there's a lot of Hispanic and Latinos that also went through slavery and went through the same oppression that you guys did.
Jesus, what does civil rights mean to you? So given the work that you've done on the marker, the fact that you're a part of Latina, and all the things that you've been a part of, what does civil rights mean to you?
To be honest with you, when all this civil rights movement came in with Lyndon Johnson and such, I considered it more as being a benefit to the blacks than to us, because we were already accepted.
So when you did go downtown and there was black and white people intermingling, were the Mexican Americans segregated to where the white people were or the black people?
To where the white people were.
So you would drink and go through the doors that the white people went through and white water fountains.
And let's face it, there will always be a problem. There will always be people who look down on you because of your ethnicity. But all you need to do is just look up at them and show them I'm as good or better than you, you know. But I felt that it was helping them more, and I was very glad to see it.
To know, you said earlier about the white and black water fountains in the, I guess, the main areas right near Lee College. Were you allowed to drink from the white fountain?
Yes.
Okay.
I was allowed to drink from the white fountains.
Because when I was growing up and we rode the bus to Houston, there was one long row on the bus in the back. And that back row was designated for blacks. And that's where they had to sit. I could sit anywhere that I wanted to on the bus, but the blacks had to sit back there. And if that row was full, they had to stand all the way to Houston. They could not sit with the others.
I think many Mexican Americans were afraid. What would happen if we weren't considered white? How do we know we're not going to be forced or pushed to identify with the black race at a time when black people are fundamentally denied so many basic rights?
I remember downtown, and I didn't understand it because I was raised thinking everybody was equal. And I remember downtown with my mom one time, and Stripling's department store was downtown, Leonard's, Monig's, and going into the stores, and you'd have a colored water fountain and a white water fountain, and colored restrooms, white restrooms. And I used to tell Mom, what color do you have to be to use the colored? You know, I mean, because it was like just foreign to me. And she said, oh, that's for the blacks.
Okay? Yeah. And to the black folks that are talking about, oh, that's the law. Y'all came here illegally, da-da-da. If y'all really want to be ignorant, so was slavery. Slavery was a law. That still didn't make it right. What are you talking about? Like, what? If y'all want to get on here talking about, oh, y'all should have been at them polls. Y'all should have been this and this and that and third. Da-da-da-da. Y'all should have been together more as a community. We wouldn't be here. I promise you, mass deportation still would have been a thing. And I want you to remember that 62% of Hispanics in the Latino community voted for Kamala. What are you talking about? And also, use your common sense and your brain, you useless dweebs. Be for real. How are undocumented people going to vote? How? I also need y'all to remember, they're only coming for a certain type of community. Understand that. That's the problem. They're only ripping certain families apart. They're attacking a certain community, and that's the problem. Not even that. It's also the fact that they're not going through the proper channels. Y'all need to remember that coming here legally is not even a real crime. It's like a civil rights crime. It's kind of like jaywalking. Why is not these white folks all in jail? Let's be for real. Exactly my point. There's literally white immigrants. What happened to the Italians? What happened to the Swedish? What happened to the Irish? What happened to all of that? What happened to the Russian? What happened to all them people? I don't see that happening to them. What? And I also need to remember that a lot of our communities is mixed. We're all as one. What happened to the Afro-Latinos? What happened to the Black Hispanics, Black Latinos? What happened to that? Like, what? Believe it or not, we're closer than you think. Like, what? This is what they want. They want us to be pitted against each other. That whole narrative that, oh, the Hispanics only want y'all at the protest so it could get violent, this and the third. Who said that? Please let me know who said that to y'all. Because what are you talking about? That is an outright lie. And if you don't feel comfortable protesting, right, you could do it from your house. You could speak up from your house. You know what I'm saying? It's not fine to get on the internet and start attacking people for going. And not even just attacking them, but trying to convince them not to go or not trying to do what they feel is right. That's weird. That's the problem. I also need y'all to remember that there's a lot of Black immigrants. Simple as that. I'm talking about like straight up Black, like not mixed, because y'all feel like once somebody is mixed, they're not Black enough anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about straight up Black, like from the motherland. And I'm telling you, because I work in those facilities, there's a lot more than what you think. Like, I'm talking about a lot. This whole narrative that it's only the Hispanics, aka the Mexicans, and like, you know, the Latinos and stuff like that, it's cap. It's a lie. Yeah, it is. Not just that, it's other communities as well. There's Indians. There's Hindus, there's Arabics, there's all types, like literally, like it's the fact that they're only coming for one community, and it's weird, and they're abusing their power and their authority, again, not going through the proper channels. Like, these are people that can't even speak the proper language to defend themselves. Simple as that. Like, what? But I said what I said. Simple as that. Just don't get upset. Like, yeah.
Another one.
You working. No more money for you. Bye-bye. Go back, cross. No more money for you. It's lazy. You're lazy. No more money for you.
Like, these are people that can't even speak the proper language to defend themselves. Simple as that.
You believe that?
Man, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing this morning? Check this out. Man, what's going on this app, yo? And we seeing this in real time, too, so I'm going to explain. But anyway, I've been watching video from big content creators that are Black, right? I don't know where they from, but I just know they Black. But they promoting this thing that we're going to get deported. So they reporting all these news showing Black people being detained, being shipped off, all this stuff. So I'm thinking to my Fourth Amendment mind, and I'm thinking about my Fourth Amendment Black people on this land. We ain't got nothing to worry about. I'm going to keep saying, and I'm going to keep making videos about this. We have nothing to worry about until I see a video of a 14th Amendment person get detained and shipped off somewhere. Then I'm going to talk. Then I'm going to say something about it. But until then, we're not. Most of these people are immigrants. Parents are immigrants. You know what I'm saying? Even they got citizenship here, they still immigrants. They still migrated here to become a citizen here. They're not 14th Amendment people, 14th Amendment babies. They just not. They're not the emancipated people. They just not. There's another story, I'm pretty sure y'all seen it, about a dude that was walking to the federal building, and he walked past the Marines and they detained him. These Black content creators trying to make it seem like, oh, that's a Black man. They detaining Black men, Black people now. You see what I'm saying? But if you read the article, they not telling this part. The guard stopped him, was trying to stop him, but he kept going. Because he crossed a barrier that he wasn't supposed to cross. And they detained him. He get up and say, hey, I had my headphones on. I didn't hear it. They protect the military protecting the federal building in Los Angeles. But anyway, it finds out this dude not even Black American. He's not even a 14th Amendment baby. He from another country. He got his citizenship through joining the military. But you got these black creators trying to scare black Americans, I'm gonna say the emancipated people, that we gonna get deported. We're not gonna get deported. I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm just gonna keep saying that till my lungs collapse. We're not gonna get deported, my emancipated people. Now, if you're not emancipated, if you're not part of the 14th Amendment originally, yeah, you gone. I get why you scared. I can understand. I kind of have sympathy and no empathy, but I got a little sympathy for you. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. But I think some of these creators that's pushed, especially these black content creators with these big platforms that's pushing this, these folks the CIA, bro. This is COINTELPRO 2025. They talking about Project 2025. Black COINTELPRO 2025 is real. You got people pushing false propaganda. They'll tell you the story, but they'll leave out the important details of the story. And you have to look at it like, hold on, he's an immigrant. This ain't got nothing to do with me. Sad, I'm messed up about it. Like, okay, they going through it, but it ain't got nothing to do with my folks. You know what I mean?
Some of the fucked up experiences I had. When I was 19, my partner had a Mexican girlfriend. When we was walking out the mall one day, a Mexican man and a lady approached us in the parking lot. It was her mama and her stepdaddy. Her mama started yelling at the top of her voice, "You know you don't date no black people. You know you don't mess with no black people." As her stepdaddy grabbed her by her hair and started punching her in the face like a grown man. This girl couldn't have been no more than 105 to 110 pounds, 5'6". God damn it, this man was punching her in the face, busting her mouth and her nose. This is an 18-year-old girl that this grown man, a stepdaddy, was punching in the face like that while her mama was yelling this out loud in the public, broad daylight. You know you don't date no black people. You know you don't mess with no black people. You know better than that, over and over and over again. I had to hold my partner back from whooping on her stepdaddy because they had a gun with him. That's just how mad he was. He ain't even her real daddy. He was just her fucking mama's husband at the time. She didn't even meet this man until she was about 9 or 10 years old, she said. But the way he beat her in that parking lot let me see the hate that they have towards black Americans. They do not allow their people to integrate with us. But if she had a white boyfriend, which she ended up marrying later on in life and having kids by, they are A-okay with that. But no, not no black people. So I've been knew how Mexicans felt towards black people. So the way that I feel, and when I put my feelings out here on this, not give a fuck about them, I got some more I'm gonna tell y'all, but it's well deserved. Okay, here's another story. In Detroit, everybody know if you want to know Mexicans, you go to Southwest Detroit, where I am from. Growing up, I grew up with Mexicans. Going to school, the Mexicans were bused to our side of town to go to school with us. And I had this one cool cat that I was real cool with named Chewy. Every day, me and Chewy was the best of friends. We was the two baddest kids in fucking school. We was ace boom coons. But it was this other Mexican dude named Victor. And this used to stink his off every day. So I get on his ass and tell him he was smelling like fucking sour cream and onion. Anyway, one day I was in a lunch line and they ran up behind me and put me in a chokehold and I couldn't do shit. He had me. They broke up the shit. I went to chasing his all the way up and down the steps, all the way around the school, upstairs, downstairs. The teachers ended up locking him in the classroom, and as they was trying to restrain me, I heard Chewy telling the principal, "See, Mr. Momeyer, he told you that if Larry keep with him, that he was going to get him. He told you it's your fault. You should have said something to Larry." My thought was, damn, dog, we was best friends, and you ain't even friends with this. You used to be laughing at my jokes that I was telling about him. Why didn't you tell me? So I learned way back then, 14 years old, 13 years old in the 8th grade, that Mexicans are going to choose their race over everything, even friends. I was best friends with this. I would have fought anybody black because I did not see the difference between black and Mexican at that particular time. I thought we was in the same boat, but I seen different from my past experiences.
You know what I want to chat about? Anti-blackness in the Latino community. And I'm going to tell you why. So I used to be I was a part of a DEI committee, when I came back to LA, and, being a part of the DEI committee, I remember there was this school and, they were like, "Oh my gosh, we're so pro-black. We're so pro-black." But then when you really got into, like the system and you really saw how things work, you could really feel and sense the level of tension and the level of just really anti-Blackness with Latinos. I have experienced more discrimination, more prejudice, attitudes, and more racism from Latinos than I have white people. And I don't understand why people don't want to talk about that. I don't understand why they hide behind it. I deal with this so much, especially in the workplace. And people are so silent about it. So I kind of want to bring it to light. These are some things that I've talked about for some years, kind of in those spaces, but I want to talk about it on social media because maybe I can find other people who have similar experiences. Let's talk about anti-Blackness within the Latino community. And a lot of times I work in places where I am the only Black person there, or I may be the only Black person that speaks up, that acknowledges certain things are happening. And so everybody wants to think that all people of color or BIPOC or whatever, they think that we're all, united and together, when it's really not like that. Like, there's so much anti-Blackness amongst Latinos. It is not what people think. It is not what people say. So let's talk about it. Have you ever experienced anti-Blackness or discriminatory practices in a predominantly Latino setting? Let me know in the comments.
So shout out, much love, respect, and appreciation to anybody who made it to the end of this video. As I stated before, I went through the comments and I saw that some people were like, yeah, Seiji, add in the elders. So I added those in there. And they were asked questions about segregation. This is, in Texas and stuff of that nature. And they stated how they were deemed, seen, and treated, what it is that they had to go through. Nowhere in there told me that they were segregated. Nowhere in there told me that they had to use separate water fountains, they had to go to separate schools and all. They were shipped and bussed in with everybody else. That also more than likely means that when they wanted to go shopping, they were on the white side. Color me surprised. And you had the young woman who wanted to state that, Black Americans, you need to stop telling other people, basically other Black Americans, that this is not their battle and they don't need to fight and they don't need to do that, and just mind your business if you don't want to do anything and don't try to stop any. I need you to shut up. I need you and other people shut up. If I, as a Black American, care and love about my Black people, and I'm telling them for the safety of their mental and their physical to stay away from this protest, because if you go to these protests, they will enact plans that they've always wanted to enact. The government is clearly showing how they deem and see the Hispanic folks out here versus Black people. They really haven't done anything. If you compare the protest and everything that has taken place in these these ICE protests and these immigration protests, right? The same things have happened, right? You've had some varying lots that decided, we're going to sit up there and go loot this and do this. We're going to cause a ruckus here and all this other type of stuff, right? When the Latins, Mexicans, whatnot, when they decided to do it, guess what? Nothing really happened. It was just like a whole game, right? Now, if you take them out and you insert Black people, you can go back to a variety of protests where you've seen similar things happen. And we all know how social media looked at that when it took place. We know how Fox News looked at it when it took place. We know how the police looked at it when it took place. We know how whites in their communities, they wanted to come out there with their guns. We're about to protect, where it is that we are. You even had some white people come from the suburbs coming to quote unquote protect businesses in the cities. I'm like, what is even going on here? This is just y'all just trying to show off that y'all got guns. That's all that is. Y'all just want to try to be there to start something. That's all it is, right? All of this energy that they had for Black Americans when it is that we were protesting. But yet the same things happened in these Hispanic protests. Where were all of the white people trying to come? Where were all of these, the Second Amendment, where are all of those white folks at? Trying to come to these businesses, trying to make sure that they're protected, that they wasn't going to get robbed and all of this other. Where was all of these people to try to show up that, we're going to make sure that no looting takes place, because if you loot, we'll shoot. What happened to all of that? Oh, that's right. You're not going to act that way towards Hispanics because they're honorary, right? Because you deem them a little bit above Black folks. So this is why you didn't enact plans of martial law. This is why y'all not really doing anything when it deals with the military. Y'all not coming out in full force with tanks and all this other type of stuff. Like I said, y'all still holding back and waiting. And one of the other guys in the video stated that these larger content creators need to be looked at and picked apart and questioned as to why it is that they themselves are advocating for black folks to go out there. Why they're trying to specifically frame and make this a black American issue. Like he said before, and I watch some of these large content creators whenever it is that they report these stories. It's the one where he decided to state that, oh, there was this black American male, he's in the military, and they're talking about deporting him and da-da-da-da and all this other type of stuff. But then when you look, you'll find out that the dude was from the Caribbean or Jamaican and so on and so on. He was not black American. Like I said, it's funny how they themselves, as these content creators, right, where they're trying to be the social warriors and social justice, this, that, and the third, right, where they want to come out there and try to inform people, but they're leaving out very important information so that if people did want to intervene, if people did actually want to care, they would have the full information to do so. They're purposely leaving things out on purpose in order to spin a certain type of narrative. Like I said before, people are not paying attention. People are not paying attention. They're trying to get you into something that you have no business getting yourself into. Currently, like the United States situation at this moment in time, dealing with the globe. The United States is, potentially teetering on getting involved in a situation that we should not be getting involved in. We need to be minding our own business. But, that's neither here nor there, at this moment in time. But going back to the young lady, as stated before, this is why black Americans, and like I said, I want to stay directly on y'all for the longest time possible, because I keep telling y'all, the moment in time that y'all decide that you want to finger point and you want to look directly at black Americans, you want to wave the finger, you want to do this and that, I'm going to be directly on you. I'm going to make it my job to be directly on you, because we're not doing this. You're not about to come out here and speak one way and then try to talk to black Americans another way. Nope, we're going to put it all out. We're going to put it all out in the open. We're going to put out all of your racism. We're going to put out all of your colorism. We're going to point out how it is that you've been historically. And like I said before, historically speaking, we know the fact that you don't like black people. Look at how it is that you treat the quote-unquote black Mexicans, the darkest of the darkest Mexicans, or those in your Latin societies. Look at how it is that on Telemundo and all these other television shows and networks that you got, you put the lightest, if not closest, to white front and center. Even when it deals in some instances dealing with Brazil, you want to put the lightest Brazilians out there, not the darkest ones. It's crazy work, but then you got the nerve to try to say that black people are the ones that, sow and put out the most hatred. No, it's you. It's you. It's always been you. You've done this culturally. And because it's deeply woven within your culture, you then spread that in America. We already got problems here. We already got racism, bigotry, discrimination, all of that type of stuff here that black Americans have always had to, go through since the inception of this country. But now you're adding what it is that you go through in your culture, and you're trying to blanketly throw that on the black community. And then you want to claim reverse racism like white people. No. Like I said, this is how we know who it is that you are. And this is why I will continuously, 10 toes down, I will continuously say that I know that you guys are white. Matter of fact, I'll probably bring that up in another video. As a matter of fact, we'll go over a few definitions of which I will more than likely mispronounce. But we're going to have all of the words directly up there in order to, prove the point, on top of having some of your own representatives, or at least one, right, to prove the point of how racist and discriminatory, right, that you are when it deals with your own people. So again, if you're like that with your own people, we already know how it is that you deem and see black people. And again, we need you guys to shut up and stop trying to tell black Americans what it is that we should and should not care about. We need y'all to shut up when it deals with us talking to our own people, and we're worried about the livelihood. We're worried about the safety, the health of them, because y'all don't realistically care. You don't care about the health of black people. You don't care about the respect and value of black people. You just want us to be there so that it helps you out in the end. And then once you get the help and everything is fixed and is solid, you're going to go right back to the same way that you've always been, such as case in point under Democratic rule, when you guys just wanted to say and do anything that you wanted to do because you felt that you were so well protected. Now all of that protection is crumbled. It was a house of cards, but you believe the house was made out of concrete. I guess that's what happens when you have cheap labor, right? You get one thing, but you see a completely other thing. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.